Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations and Horror, the podcast. I'm your host, Kevin L. Powers. I'm also the owner operator of Something Wicked Entertainment and Events, and I want to welcome you to our program today. Now, with our program, what I like to do is me and a special guest like to sit down and we discuss an individual film over the course of hopefully an hour. Sometimes we enjoy ourselves a little bit too much and we go a little bit over an hour, but for the general purposes, we try and do 45 minutes to an hour of talking and discussing about an individual film. Now, that film could be from many different decades or subgenres of the horror main brand, but the idea is that we are trying to touch upon all these different types of movies out there that sometimes are not talked about in other podcasts. Which brings me to today's film and what we're going to be discussing, which is Zombie Diaries 2 World of the Dead from 2011, which is a found footage film from the UK. And to talk about this movie with me is
Guess who?
Jim Adams. Jim Adams is back, everyone.
The found footage guy is with you again.
Yes, we've been delving deep into live found footage films over the last year or so, and we are going to continue doing so as we embark on this tireless journey of bringing you conversations about found footage films that you may or may not have ever heard of.
Yes.
This one, which is surprisingly is a sequel to a successful first film, because it was distributed by Dimension and the Weinstein's company. I hate to say that out loud in this day and age, but
but in 2011, the Weinsteins were putting out some pretty good films. They were distributing some really good films out there.
They were I have to admit, they were finding and distributing films from a lot of different indie sources.
Yes.
Putting them out there for a lot of audiences to be able to see them, when otherwise they would never get to see them.
That's
so
right.
I can't commend them too badly about that.
Yeah. Well, the one brother was, a scum. The other brother was okay.
Two brothers that were alike, but not so much alike.
That's right. Yeah.
But that being said, we have already discussed the first film in this franchise, Zombie Diaries, in a previous podcast. So if you would like to hear that, please make sure to check that one out. But we're going to be talking about the sequel, which does take place relatively soon after the first.
Yeah, almost immediately after. I mean, it's very, very quickly after when the first one, even though the films are 5 years apart. But
yeah, well, some of the characters return. Some of the actors.
Oh yeah.
But the crux of the story is not really the same. As in this film, we are following a troop of soldiers who have been trying to push back the infection and zombie plague as it engulfs the UK in the areas. So.
Yes, that and more.
So, just to get a general idea, how did you come upon this film, Jim, and what were your first impressions of it?
I came upon this film because of a guy named Kevin Powers, who, because you turned me on to the first one. And, by the way, folks, we're going to spoil everything about this film if you haven't seen it. Yeah. So, I will say right out of the blocks, I like this movie. I liked this one. I was not very kind on the first one. They had some problems or whatever, but this is one of those rare times where the sequel is far better than the first one was.
Yeah.
I was really, really impressed with what and Kevin and Mark, I'm going to mention you by name because I know you guys listened to the podcast we did on Zombie Diaries. And I think if I'm not mistaken, you said they emailed you and said, wait until you see the second one or something like that.
You know what? I can't remember now, and I should have looked it up. But they did tell me about obviously the second one, and their other movie. I think it was Paranormal Entity.
Right, they had Paranormal Entity.
I've also seen, and we'll get to that one later in the year, hopefully as well. But the main thing is that it was. I think they thought that it was out of the blue that they heard that someone had died.
Right.
The movie, and that's the thing that we love to do here at our podcast. We love to take these independent films and we like to discuss them, the good, the bad, the ugly, especially give them a little bit of props. At least.
Oh yeah.
Always enjoy.
I wasn't. Yeah, I would say. I don't think. Yeah, we didn't say don't watch the movie. It was just there were some problems with it, but
Yeah,
Still, no, I would watch the movie. Yeah,
you know me. Other than found footage films, I'm a zombie horror, so I watch like
yes, yeah.
I
But
know.
I want to give them props on this one because whatever thing problems they had in the first one, they did not have on this one, and the storytelling in this and the writing in this, and I think was it Kevin who does the writing? I'm trying to remember on this one.
Yeah, Kevin Gates.
Kevin Gates did the writing on this one. They did a great job. They really did. The storytelling in this is top drawer. It's one of the better found footage films I've seen in quite a while. So I've got to give them that one.
You know what? I saw this film when it originally came out in 2011 because I'd seen the first film, and me still, even though I only thought the first film was okay, you know me, like I said, it's a zombie film and it's a found footage film. I had to see when it came out. I did enjoy this one even back then because I gave this a much better rating than I did the first film, and then when I rewatched it for the podcast, it allowed me to actually delve deeper into the story and the aspects of the film itself, which I had not done when I originally watched it. Just watching it as a general audience and enjoying it, whether it was entertaining or not.
Right.
So that's where I'm coming from, because I do watch a lot of these, or I did watch a lot of these films when they were originally released, because I am a horror when it comes to anything that has to deal with horror film. Anyone who knows me and knows the films that we put on our program knows that I will watch generally anything.
I'm the same way. Yeah,
and I will sit through and I will watch the entire movie, whether it's a bad movie or not, looking for at least some gem of substance within that film.
I've got to admit there are some rare cases where I haven't finished a movie, but it doesn't happen often. I like to just see it through. You never know. But this one I really did enjoy. And it has got truly some very frightening moments. And it's got some disturbing stuff in there too. It's very realistic. It's for a zombie film. They did, their story, they just didn't give you what they gave you in the first movie. They just didn't rehash.
Yes.
And they have one survivor in the first movie. Oh, I spoiled it for everybody. No, we've already done a show on that. and she returns for this one, picks up basically where they left off. Mm-hmm. And it's very seamless, and and it's a whole different story and a whole different set of problems that they had to face, other than just this horde of zombies that's eating everybody.
And that's what I liked about and that's the aspect of this film I liked a lot more than the way they handled in the first film. So just because I know there's a lot of people out there who have never seen this film, but a group of soldiers has one particular soldier who's always recording everything for posterity.
Right.
I think he was at one point a reporter or something, but he now is with this.
He was, yeah. I mean, and we see them at the end of the first movie. They're the ones that rescue Leanne, who returns for this one.
So, and then of course they come across they at the end of the last movie they rescue Leanne, and in this film they're at their base, so to speak, and we have the reporter / soldier who's kind of going over what had happened in a kind of a skirmish in a nearby town where one of their own had been killed.
Right.
As that guy, which is, I think, is that Maddox? No, that's Jonesy, right?
I've got my names out here, so
that's one of the bad things about it. Jonesy. So Jonesy's the one with the camera for like 9.
Yes. Jonesy is your cameraman. Yes.
He goes around camp trying to get the real details of what happened at this other base in which one of their own was killed. And that's how we generally get an in-depth look at what's going on during this zombie apocalypse or infection plague. The soldiers have been trying to keep it all at bay. But slowly their numbers are dwindling, and they're just doing the best they can.
And I think that what's interesting about this one is it's not just survivors that are protected at this base. They've also got some infected people that they're watching over, that they're trying to treat as well.
Yeah,
which makes this a whole lot different. Well, the first one takes place right after the virus breaks out. So I mean, it's right at the very, very beginning. Now it's 3 months later, and it is just totally out of control.
Yes, yeah, and it's interesting seeing it from this perspective because none of these military people or soldiers are in any way depicted as kind of evil or bad.
No, not really. No,
even the doctors who's looking over the infected people, and then of course the people who are also wounded and the survivors and stuff like that. He's a very good doctor. He's was Dr. Turner.
Yes.
He's not depicted as like this mad scientist or anything like that. I mean,
they're just generally trying to do something to stop this or whatever they can do to deal with.
Because at this point in the story, they think they can still. That's the thing that's interesting. And then of course, as it goes on, and this doesn't take after they introduce all the characters. The first act is very fast because.
Yes, very, very
first act ends when all of a sudden, by accident, someone left the door to the facility open one night, and the zombies actually impede upon the entire base, which is a really cool sequence because you see military people all around shooting, and you see a ton of zombies.
Oh man, it's just a total wipeout almost.
It is, and our crew, our main crew, are trying to find a truck to get off of the base, and thankfully, even though Leanne is suffering from PTSD from her experiences in the first film, they take her because she was locked up individually in a cell, and she's still not infected, and
right. They guaranteed that she's not infected. That's right.
Yeah. So she becomes an impromptu member of this team, which includes Maddox, who's the leader, Jonesy, who's on the camera, Kane, Nicholson, and Carter. I think Carter's the other one.
Yes, Carter's the other one. That's right.
Yeah, Carter's the other one. And of course Nicholson, who actually sacrificed. I say sacrifice, but not really sacrifice. But he uses himself as a diversion for the.
Yeah, he stays behind. You buy him time to get away.
Yeah, to allow the rest of them to flee, which is good because they flee, but unfortunately, everyone on the other rest of the base are killed. And in the first of our spectacular zombie horde sequences in the film.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a total wipeout of this base.
Yeah, and they had no problems in this film with showing all these zombies because there are a lot of zombies in.
There's a ton of them in this one. Yeah,
the other one. So
yes,
it's a bigger canvas that we're.
Yeah, well, they had $1.5 million to work with on this film, so that helped out a lot.
Yeah, which is still considerably cheaper than I would have expected.
That's still a lower budget film, but compared to what they were working on in the first film, man, they went to town on this.
Yeah, and I was informed that they didn't spend much money on the first film at all.
No, it was
really low budget movie.
It really is very low budget.
And you see that in the first film, because they limited to certain locations in the middle of the woods a lot of the time where they're just shooting with 2 or 3 characters, and then they move on to the next 2 or 3 characters.
Right.
I hear there's a lot. The canvas has been opened up a whole lot more, and it does show
quite a bit. Yeah, because now the whole country is overrun. The one thing in some of the zombie films that took place in England, it's an island, and you kept thinking, okay, you can contain this, but and they didn't really bring this out as much in the first film. I think they did mention it that the virus it came from Asia,
yes,
and worked across Europe, but now so it's like there's really where are you going to go? I mean, it's not like there is no safe zone, because it seems to be, this is like everywhere, like COVID was with us in 2019. It just got worldwide. Mm-hmm. 28 days later, they had it all contained to like just the UK because it was, virtual island. So I really, really like that aspect of it, that they played up the fact that, they're looking for a safe place in Europe, even though it's not really guaranteed. But they've been picking up on the radio signals that there may be a place that they can get to that's a safe haven for survivors.
And that is actually the kind of the driving plot for this.
That's the whole crux of the movie,
act, because Maddox has stolen or taken one of the maps that they were working with at the base, where they are going to get to another base that hopefully has ships that will take them to a safe harbor. And that is the kind of the plot of that is their destination.
Yes, that's right.
The good thing is the filmmakers don't make it easy for them. Obviously.
Oh, it's not easy at all.
Because after the first night, not even during the first night, when after they've escaped the base, they find a way to a nearby house where they think they can wait it out until morning before they can leave.
Right.
The funny thing is, Jonesy, who's on camera, and Kane, I think it's Kane. Yeah, I think it's
Kane. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kane. Realized that in the basement of this house they're in, there is a family of the undead, and they've kind of woken them up, and so they have to flee really fast.
Now, let me ask you a question. This is one thing, and you may think, oh, you should have picked up on this right away. In the very beginning of this movie, we see a birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
This is a birthday party that's taking place by a family during this whole apocalypse.
Yes.
Is that where they ended? Is that the house they ended up at? Where they discovered that this is a different family then? I wasn't quite sure about that.
So the way Jonesy explains it is that family, that videotape that he's looking at the beginning was something that they picked up from a house. They don't say exactly.
Okay, I missed that. Yeah, I didn't quite catch that. So at first, it didn't hurt the movie at all for me, but it was just like, wow, I wonder if that's that same family that was celebrating the little girl's birthday.
It would have been cool if it was, but that house was near some type of running water.
That's right. That's right.
So that's
because they walk down to the shore and all that. Yeah, okay, you're right.
You should mention that whole sequence. It does open really cool, almost like a cold open of the family celebrating the birthday of their child.
This little girl,
in the complete darkness because the zombie apocalypse has been going on for.
They're just the birthday cake, candles, and one little lantern or something is about the only light they have in the whole house.
It's very atmospheric. And
it's great. Yeah.
Opening. But they hear something outside, despite the fact they're living near running water. Unfortunately, the father goes out there with the mother who's recording it because that's why we have it. Because
it's a like you would do a birthday party.
Yeah, they're recording
everything.
And using the light from the camera to.
Oh yeah, they're using that as light too. That's right.
And unfortunately, they get to the river, and something happens to her husband. And of course, she goes to see what happens to her husband. And she sees something that we don't see, but it scares her so much that she runs and flees to go back to her house. And then, of course, when she goes back to her house in her panic, she doesn't realize that she's also led the infected to her house now.
Yeah, they just follow her. She made it easy for him.
And then, of course, she tries to cower with her daughter. Yep. And then, of course, the bedroom that she cowers in has been, gets busted in by the zombie. And, of course, that's when the tape ends. And then Jonesy makes mention of that house. It's a very cool open because you don't know.
It is. Really a unique way to open the movie.
Yeah. Especially if you don't know what the movie is generally about, about the soldiers and stuff like that.
Right.
Thinking it's something very similar to the first film, you might think that this is part of the main crux of the story, but it's not. It's just a cold open to get you.
No, it's just found footage within found footage.
That's exactly what it is. It is literally a found footage within found footage. It was a found footage from Jonesy.
But I thought that would have been so cool if that's the house they ended up in. But
you know what?
I wasn't quite sure at first. But it didn't matter to me because I was still into the story of getting these people to the safe place.
Yeah. Well, what they think is the safe place. Obviously, they didn't do a really good job of that, or you would have checked in the basement first thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're literally sleeping in that house. The first thing you should do is check to make sure.
Yes.
So yes, but they flee that house in the middle of the night, and unfortunately for them, they run over zombies as they're doing it, and the truck that they're in.
Yeah, the truck breaks down.
It breaks down, and we see that they literally ran over a zombie, ran over somebody.
Oh yeah.
So now they're on foot, and they're on foot for pretty much the rest of the film as they.
And then it starts snowing, which doesn't help.
doesn't help, but it's really cool to see the snow falling down, though.
I know, but it's just like, oh man, can anything else go wrong?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. So the thing is, this film continues to make it harder and harder for these people to get
absolutely.
The cool thing about this is it goes back to that ideal that humans are worse than the actually infected / zombies, because they start to see these.
I love that. Yes.
Signs that they call them raiders. They call them raiders in the film.
Raiders or renegades or something or other.
Yeah,
they had a name for them.
Yeah, they start seeing
but these guys that they would be in disaster films. It'd be the looters and all of that stuff, and we saw them in the first one.
Yeah.
Which was one aspect of the first one I did like a lot, because it was so different from what I'd seen in others.
Yeah.
But man, on this one, they're almost as dangerous as the zombies are. I mean, you don't want to run up on any of those.
Nah, because in 3 months since the zombie apocalypse, these outlaws or renegades, as you would call them, have made a kind of a little society for themselves.
Oh yeah.
Do whatever they want to do.
It's like the Wild West, man. No law whatsoever.
No law, no one cares. It's the law of the gun, or zombie, as it comes to this one. Because as we saw in the first film, these type of people are just
they're psychotic.
Psychotic. That's the word called. Psychotic. But our group has a run-in with them, and then they can't seem to shake them. Once they do, they try to get past them without any incident. But these raiders, these looters have set booby traps and
all kinds of nasty stuff.
They're even really what's the best word to call them, since they like to have sex / rape undead people.
Yes. Necrophiliacs.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really, when the raiders start getting into the story, it's really dark.
It gets really grotesque. Yeah. And some of them we had seen before.
Yes.
Some of the ones that we saw in the first one are making a reappearance.
Yes.
In this one, and of course, Leanne's not too crazy about that.
No.
Because they tortured her pretty badly in the first film.
Yeah. We see Manny and Gok for the last film.
Manny and Gok, yeah.
For this one, and they're even more depraved.
Oh God, they're far worse than they were in the first film.
Yeah, because they've got recruits in this one.
Yes,
I really didn't like the Billy character, who in the film.
Oh my God, yeah.
The Billy character is almost like a savant. He makes these amazing little scarecrows.
Yes,
about the film that we see. But he's also a really simple person. Like, he's not mentally all there.
Yeah, I don't think he's really like mentally retarded, but like you said, he's a savant. He's sort of in another little world of. I mean, he's he's got some skills and abilities, but he's just in a different plane of existence.
Yeah, well,
I don't know how to describe it.
I think that he feels. What was the best word to say? He feels obligated to Gok and Manny and his team.
Oh, absolutely.
They keep him alive.
Yes, absolutely. He feels a loyalty to them. Yeah.
But they are also forcing him to do things he would never do.
Oh, absolutely.
Like a big bully.
They're bullies in every respect. Yeah.
But before we get on to that part,
that's a little further down the road here. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, there are multiple different instances that we see throughout the film between the soldiers and other locations that they find themselves in. Especially when they're first trying to get past, the first time they see the raiders, the ones who are raping the zombie, they're trying to get past them without being noticed, and they go through kind of a field of zombies to get past them.
Yeah, man.
Like I said, there's a lot more zombies in this film.
One other thing that's happening all along the way here too, and it keeps coming in and out. You probably know what I'm referring to now. The scenes that come in and out. You see these guys in hazmat suits, and it's like you're looking at maybe more found footage or something. We're not really sure, but they're going around killing zombies and that sort of thing. And it's really sort of cool how that all comes together. Yes. More and more as the film progresses on. I was really fascinated with that aspect. I mean, this film had a lot more depth to the story than the first one did.
Well, they show the people in hazmats in the first film, like I think twice.
But yeah, maybe 2 times at best.
You don't really get a sense of what they're there for.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You really don't.
But with this one, that separate aspect is integrated throughout the entire film, and you're seeing a little bit more of the story of what these people in hazmat suits are doing. And it fundamentally does link in with the rest of the film by the time we get to the big reveal at the end, which you're not expecting at first. You're seeing essentially they present that footage as though that was before the huge outbreak. This is when there were still tons and tons of people out there just trying to find
you still had a lot of survivors around.
And so it's interesting for the film to jump back and forth between that time period and the current time period with the soldiers.
Yes.
So I wanted to talk about that, but I wasn't sure when that was going to come up.
I'm always ahead of the game. No, I just and again I'm paying kudos to our 2 directors and the writer, who is one of the directors, that they really fashioned a very, very stylistic story to this. I mean, a very deep story. It's not just your shallow zombies against humans thing. This has some meat to it.
Well, yeah, and when you say that, I want to add in that one of the biggest things I liked about the movie is the fact that they go into depth with the characters themselves.
Yes, very much.
They don't do it a whole lot. I mean, they don't do like a huge what do you call it, exposition dump at any time. It's kind of sprinkled into
right.
Those
you get to learn over the period of the movie. You get to learn more about these folks.
Yeah, because Kane, who is just really, he doesn't want to be going to the safe haven place. He really wants to go find his family, his wife and his child.
Yeah,
and he's sticking with Maddox because he still is loyal and it's still a duty to him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's sticking with him. But even what's her name? Carter. I think it's Carter. Carter is the other one. Carter, who is loyal to Kane. You get to learn a little bit about her as well as the story. I think, and it makes you feel a little bit more about who these characters are and what their motivations are and why they do what they do. Maddox, on the other hand, is just someone who believes, he has faith that if they could get to this location, that they could find a safe haven despite all the chaos that is currently encircling the UK at this time. And he wants his soldiers to believe that. He wants, and not just soldiers, they're his friends as well, because he's been with them through thick and thin.
Yeah, they've been through this the whole time, yeah.
So I mean, there's the whole thing where he tells all this stuff to Carter, but tells her not to tell Kane, because the moment Kane realizes what they're doing, he's going to leave them and go to find his wife.
Right. Yeah.
And it's kind of heartbreaking there, because you realize that anyone who doesn't make it to this boat, this rendezvous point, will probably all die.
No, absolutely. Yeah. The zombies have totally overrun everything.
Yeah. They've kind of overrun everything. So it's very interesting to see all this. And especially with Leanne, who is suffering from her.
Oh God, yeah.
Everything that happened to her in the previous film, but she becomes very capable in this movie when you give her a gun and tell her to shoot and kill zombies.
And she got the shotgun. That's what I love. They gave her the shotgun.
That first battle, they make sure to tell her, well, she can hold her own. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's not defenseless and without a weapon like she was in the first film.
That's right.
Going through her shit. Because before then, everyone thought she was just crazy because of the way she was acting based on what happened in the first film, which all of her friends die. But in a survival atmosphere, she owns up, and she steps up big time. So those things right there make this movie a lot more interesting to watch.
Yes,
and the fact that it doesn't break the found footage rules, except for once, and we'll mention that at the very end. But it sticks to the aesthetics.
Yeah, but I sort of like that. That didn't bother me. Where they broke it at the end. That worked for me, the way they did it. If they'd done that during the movie, I would have had some problems with it.
Yes.
But as an epilogue, it was almost sort of like an epilogue.
Yes, it's like an epilogue. It's an epilogue.
And I had no problems with that. I said, okay, I can go with that one, guys. I can do that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. We haven't gotten to that, the ending.
Yeah, we've still got a ways to go before we get there.
But the thing is, with the ending for this, they did it much better by breaking the rule than it did in the movie The Pyramid.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
If you've seen The Pyramid, they break the rule way too much.
Yeah.
I commented on that in an episode of the show, The Pyramid, that breaks that wall all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's annoying as hell when they do it. Yes. If you want to know how not to break the file footage aesthetics, go listen to our podcast on The Pyramid. But this one doesn't really.
Well, they did that a lot in Greystone Park too.
Oh yeah, so that's another
one. When we talked about that, they were constantly breaking the rules.
And that's the thing about found footage films, have a very specific aesthetic.
There are rules. That's right.
There are rules. You can't just systematically break the rules without setting up a reason for breaking those rules.
That's right.
Ruin the suspension of disbelief for the audience.
That's right.
And this film doesn't do that for me. It never does. It
doesn't.
So I think they did a really good job. So
well, I do too. That's kudos. I really like I said, the storytelling in this is very, very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then next up, I think after the first, when our team led by Maddox is trying to get away from the Raiders without being seen, unfortunately, they do encounter them for the first time.
Yeah.
And it goes into another battle, of which, unfortunately for everyone, Kane is no longer. He gets killed during this.
Yeah, Kane he's one of the earlier deaths in this thing.
Yeah, because we like Kane, so
yeah. No, I was surprised. I mean, it's like that almost set the tone that anybody can go at any time, guys. You know, this is and that it adds some realism to it. You know,
well, so they kill the strongest.
You know, because some of these that you watch, you can almost sort of figure out. I know who's going to survive this. You know, but there's always one that always survives it. But it's like in this, you don't really know.
No, you don't really know. But with Kane's death, and they actually know that these Raiders are not giving up their search for them.
No way, yeah. No.
They still keep going, despite that, because Maddox is bent on getting to that rendezvous point.
Yes.
Time limit. There's the ticking time clock on the film, in which they only have a certain amount of time to get there before the ships who will take them off the island will be no more. And that adds another level to the story as well, because
and what's going to happen if they don't get on the ship in time? It's like anyone that stays on the island is toast.
Yeah,
literally. They're just going to basically firebomb the whole island, and that's it. Just take everybody out.
Think they can contain.
It's sort of like what we saw in Cloverfield with the Manhattan. They just destroyed the whole thing because they couldn't stop the monster.
So, and those are interesting aspects for the film.
Yeah.
Our team does escape for a little while, and then I forget what there's one incident before we get to the last incident where they get captured, and I can't remember exactly how they get to that point. Oh, I know what it is. They're
the bunker. You're talking about the bunker?
No, what happens is our team stops for that night, and while they're making camp, while they're doing what they're doing, what happens is Leanne gets more or less kidnapped by the Raiders unexpectedly.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah.
And then, of course, our team hides in the woods, watching and seeing all of the Raiders for the very first time as they come into their camp.
Yes.
And then that means Maddox and them end up having to reveal themselves and kill some of the Raiders in order to get Leanne back.
Right, they get Leanne back. Yeah, it's almost a repeat. Not really a repeat of the first movie, but it's just like, oh man, these two guys got Leanne again. It's almost like because they knew who she was and she knew who they were. So it was like,
and unfortunately, that's really short-lived.
Yes,
incident. because, and this is where it gets a little bit repetitive, because what happens is there's another incident and Leanne gets captured again.
Yep.
And Jonesy is watching all of this happen with the camera, so we're seeing it with the camera. And then he gets knocked out. And then, of course, that's the last time they get captured, because by the time the camera turns back on, I can't remember if it was Manny or Gok who is running the camera.
I can't remember which one of the two was, but it was one of them. You know, they said, "Hey, get that camera. Let's do this."
Yeah, I can't.
I think it was Manny, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. So, now they have everyone captured. We don't actually see how Maddox and Carter are captured. Although Carter was
we don't. No, that's when the camera was turned off.
Yeah, Carter was wounded during the skirmish at their campsite. So she's wounded. And all three of them, except for Carter, are in this being chained up in the same room.
Right.
Take Carter, who's wounded, into another room, and we get the real story and all the story behind Billy at that point.
Oh God, that is so. Oh man, that's intense.
Unfortunately, it had me remembering instances from "I Spit on Your Grave."
Yes, that's exactly what it reminded me of. Yeah, that's exactly the kind of intensity and horror that you see in that. It's just gruesome.
Because Carter has been such a strong soldier in this entire film.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then by Manny and Gok and the rest of the Raiders is rendered completely helpless because she's also wounded. And they use Billy as a means to try and rape.
And it's not just a sexual rape. I mean, this guy is so not Billy, but Gok. I think it was Gok that was prodding him on.
Yeah.
First he said beat her up. First he's punching her and all this stuff, and then he's got to prove his manhood. We know what that means. And it just he's just into the whole torture aspect of this whole thing. And then of course he says, and Billy's not really wanting to do this. He's not feeling right about it. And Gok's is like, here, I'll show you how to do it and all that. And then, and it was sort of like, hey, anybody else want to jump in on this? Come on. It was just, and then Billy loses it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, he gives him a knife and says, take her out, and all of a sudden Billy turns into this, knife-wielding maniac, just stabbing her to death. I mean, that whole sequence is just, God, makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, it's brutal. And
it was intense. But and again, folks, you don't really see it. A lot of it's just out of the frame or whatever, but you know what's going on.
Yeah.
And that makes it even more horrific.
Yeah, it's definitely the most horrific sequence in this film. Probably.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Probably of both films. It's not like we didn't see this coming, because, like I said, some of their men were having sex.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
So that's they're all deprived in some way.
Yeah.
But as this is happening, we realize that Nicholson, who we had thought was sacrificed himself to allow his team to get away, actually has been following them, tracking them ever since they left the pound. He's just a few steps behind. He finally makes his way with them and ends up saving Maddox. And the Jonesy.
And Jonesy, he saves the day.
Yeah. So, which is cool, because that's when we get the sequence where Leanne gets to have her comeuppance on rapists. Which is actually what should have happened in due course. It's really good. Of course, with them all have guns again, they break in just as Gok and his people are doing their thing, and Nicholson Billy goes down, gets killed. Gok just manages to escape.
He's the only one that gets away.
Yeah, he gets away. And then everyone else is pretty much decimated at that point.
Yeah.
I keep thinking that they always let Goat get away in case they wanted to do a third movie. But now that because they see Carter dead,
yeah,
it's harrowing, and I think they make time to bury her, if I'm not mistaken.
They did bury her. No,
yeah,
it's a wonder. Well, I don't want to say wonderful, but it's a very touching scene where they're coming out of the barn or whatever, and they've got the grave and the little cross, and having a little ceremony, or service or whatever. It's just a very touching. Coming off of that horrific scene, it's a nice touch by the guys. I like the storytelling in that. It's a nice contrast. That works is very effective in that.
But then of course after that, what happens is the team now definitely needs to make it to the rendezvous because they've wasted a lot of time.
They're running out of time, and they know it's going to be, what was it, Project Inferno or whatever, I think is what the Army was calling. They were calling it. They knew they were just going to totally destroy the whole island.
Yeah, but and this is probably the only part that I have to get to is when they get to their rendezvous. I keep wanting to say it's Hope's Point, or what the heck is this? That place that it's called.
I can't remember the name of it now. Yeah,
Hope's Point. Yeah, I wrote it down.
Hope's Point. Okay, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah.
When they get to Hope's Point and they get to their the compound where the military.
That's where the bunker is. Yeah, I was ahead. I got ahead of myself there a minute ago.
It is decimated. There is no one there. Everyone is dead. And they can't figure out exactly why at first, because the ships aren't there yet.
There's no ships. Yeah,
the ships aren't scheduled to be there. So why is everyone dead? Why did people take their lives? All that type of thing. But there was, I guess, I didn't get 100% what the motivation for that was to have all these people dead. Because in theory,
we really don't know, but but seeing that, you have to realize, okay, the ships aren't coming. There's going to be no ships. That was the impression I got. Was like, oh God.
That's the impression I got, but for some reason, Maddox keeps thinking that the ships aren't there yet.
Yeah, he's holding out. He's got this hope that, but the others are like, no, I don't think that's happening at all.
Yeah.
I mean, why would these people kill themselves? Unless they knew that there was nothing, that no one's coming to get them.
Yeah. But the good thing about, the interesting thing about that whole sequence when they get to the base is everything that Maddox has been waiting for and hoping for. He gets a little mad because he doesn't want to hope. And everyone else is like, dude, no one's coming.
Yeah.
So they know Project Inferno, everything's gonna get torched. Maddox stays on the beach thinking that the boats are still gonna get there, while Ian, Jonesy, and Nicholson, is that it? The three that are still having?
Yeah, just the main three there.
Make their way back to the bunker, to try and hold out after the bomb, Project Inferno takes place, and maybe survive this whole.
Right. Yeah.
And so they try and make their way back to the bunker, but then they get inundated with a horde of zombies.
It's like they're everywhere. They're totally surrounded.
It reminded me of the scene, the final sequence in Day of the Dead.
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, they go into the caverns and they're being met by zombies out of every little crevice and stuff.
Yeah, I felt the same thing too.
Okay.
I think they definitely were paying homage to George Romero on that one, because that's exactly what it reminded me of.
It's a great sequence. It really is, because these three characters who think that they're going to be able to get saved by boarding themselves up into the bunker but then they get trapped.
It's not going to happen.
They get trapped and they don't find a way out, and you just see the zombies come after them, and it's
brutal.
It's a brutal sequence to end the movie on, dude.
Well, yeah, I mean, because at that point, nobody's going to live through this.
Yeah, I mean, because Jonesy dies, and of course the camera dies with him.
Yeah, the camera just drops, and
so that's the end of the movie. You would think,
yes,
but there is a epilogue, and that's a word to call to kind of describe what happens. the next day in the morning when Maddox is still waiting for ships, because nothing has affected him. He's been walking the shoreline the entire
right. He's still holding out hope. Yeah,
he's holding out hope. It's bright and shiny outside, no zombies anywhere. And the thing he encounters is two other people coming towards him. One of them is a pregnant woman. And then of course the other one is a guy speaking Dutch.
Well, they're from Rotterdam. We find out. Yeah.
So at first it's a few moments before they can communicate with one another, but the harrowing thing is that this couple tells him that they've all been told to make their way here as a safe.
Yes.
And then you kind of had that quiet realization.
Because the safe place they were all headed to, if the ship showed up, was going to be in Europe. These guys just came from Europe. Yeah, they were told the only safe place was going to be the UK. So it's like, oops.
Yeah. And then that's when you see like the jaw drop for Maddox. He's like, realization that his hopes and are dashed, are no more. There is no more safe.
Well, yeah, because at any time they're probably going to be a fireball. So
Yeah, well, that too. That is if the other parts of Europe haven't already succumbed, and there is.
But another thought went through my mind that was, okay, we expected to see these rescue ships come and all that. They didn't come. We don't know why. But now we're sort of getting the idea that maybe Europe got totally overrun and all that. And I got thinking, and this wasn't right after I watched the movie, I got thinking about it today as I was getting ready to, as we were getting ready to do this show. Maybe there won't be a Project Inferno. Maybe they're all gone. I mean, maybe there's no one to fly the planes or what, that's just it. The zombies win totally, I mean, it leaves you wondering on that a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? That's one of the aspects they could have furthered along for.
Because I mean, if everything is overrun, okay, so where's the base that's launching the ships that have the bombs to do all that? Maybe they're gone too.
Yeah, maybe.
You don't know. Yeah. And that's why I like the epilogue, because so many of these films would end when the camera is dropped.
Yes.
It's like, almost cliched. But this one didn't do it. It's almost like they thought, okay, we've got to tell people what happened, or at least leave them with something.
Yeah.
Not. And I really appreciated that. Guys, I really liked what you did there. So just want to let you know, because I know you're going to probably be listening for this one. So let you know that was a cool thing to do.
That was.
Because it was a clean break, and then so I could accept the epilogue the way it came out. It's like, okay. No, it's part of the storytelling. It works very well.
Yeah, it works really well. I mean, I was not dissatisfied watching this film in the slightest bit. I know there's a lot of people who say, well, I didn't like the acting here. I thought everything was perfectly fine with this movie.
No, I had no problems with the performances at all. I mean, I was totally into the story. There was nothing that broke me out of that, out of being invested in these people and wanting to see what happens to them.
Yeah.
Which is the best thing you can have on any movie script. I mean, you want people to care about what your characters are going through.
Yeah. And so, like I said, that's the reason why this was a far superior film than the first one. But you kind of get that impression anyways, because the first one was a low budget movie that actually, was successful.
Yeah.
And, when you do a successful first film, I could say that with El Mariachi and Desperado, when you get a little bit more money, you make a sequel that's much better and very much realized. That's how I saw this. I said, okay, I'm going to go with the idea of what happened with El Mariachi and then Desperado. El Mariachi was a really low-budget movie. It looks like a low-budget movie, but it had some fun moments in it. Desperado is a brilliant movie.
Yeah.
Bigger budget. And I guess I can understand that, and that's where I come from when I make films like this. Evil Dead. Evil Dead's the same way. Evil Dead and Evil Dead.
Yeah, that's a great analogy leading up to Army of Darkness. I mean, it just got consistently better.
Yep. So, That's what I have to say about this movie, Jim.
We're on the same page on that one. Yep.
Is there anything that you think that we missed that we didn't discuss? Oh no, we need to go back to the people in the hazmat suits. We have to go back to that.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, no, that's right. I'm glad. Thank you, because I almost forgot, because I kept thinking, I can't wait to get to that. That really smacked me in the face.
I'm gonna let you explain this one.
Well, we find out that some of these people, who were these people in the hazmat suit? Well, it turned out they were some of the people that we did meet along the way here in the movie, and their whole thing was kill everybody. Because how do you guarantee that the disease isn't going to spread? You kill everybody, including innocent survivors, whoever they are. Boom, you take them all out, and they were like an execution squad.
Yeah,
that was just wiping out everybody, no matter whether they knew if they were infected or not. They didn't care. They weren't taking any chances. They just killed everybody.
Yeah, what I got the impression for is at the beginning of this whole apocalypse, they were sent out there to gather information, gather samples, and generally keep people calm. But each time we see the people in hazmat suits, we see it got worse and worse until the very last one, or second to the last one, where we see them burning bodies in a pit like atmosphere.
Yeah, that's about the last time we see them. It looks.
Oh yeah, because they take off their helmets, and
that's when we see who they are. Then we go, wait a minute, that's so and so, and that
Maddox and Kane and them. And
that's right. That's where these people, these guys came from.
And then that little tidbit of information at the very beginning, when Kane wanted to go into town and go find his wife and stuff, and Maddox tells him the townspeople hate us more than they do the zombies.
That's right. Yeah, they gave you the clue, but I didn't pick up on it until the end.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on it until the end.
Yeah, no wonder they hated them. Yeah.
They hated them because
they were extermination squads.
People know what they did.
Yes.
So they can't go to the people in town for anything, which is
right.
The reason why they stick to the woods throughout the whole movie.
Yep, that's it.
Seen. And so a lot of that justification for what happens in the film is this big reveal we see at the very end.
Yeah, it's funny. The first time, when I saw this, and they were saying, no, we can't go into the town, and we got to stay to the woods and stuff. I thought it was because of the renegades. That maybe, the towns would probably have the renegades in there. You got to stay away from them and all that. But then when they have that big reveal with the guys it's like, oh man, now I get it. Oh my God. It's like, guys, you did it. You really did it. You really put together a hell of a story on this.
Yeah, you really did. Yeah, one hell of, I enjoyed this one. Up there is one of my more enjoyable found footage zombie films, and there unfortunately has been a lot of those too. But this is
not only found footage, but just zombie in general. Because getting around 2011, well, of course you're still Walking Dead still had a little ways to go, but things were starting to burn out on the zombie genre there for a while.
You thought they were burning out?
Yeah, I mean, it was just like there was so much of it.
Well, yeah.
So there was a little zombie fatigue.
Yeah, I think
for a while there anyway. So I mean, that it was they had to step up their game in 2011, and they did. They really did.
Because the only other one I could think of offhand that's a low budget zombie found footage, I think, is Zombie Anonymous. I think that's the title. I'm losing track of some of these now because
I haven't seen it, but I think you're right on the title.
But I thought this was very clever. I really did.
I did too. I mean, again, just first rate on the storytelling.
So, now, is there anything else that we forgot to talk about? Because
no, I'm glad you. I'm glad you remember that, because I would have kicked myself after.
I would have kicked myself too if I
because it was such a great hook.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, because I was trying to figure out exactly how all this fits within the story, other than being like
it all fit. Yeah, it all wrapped it up in a nice little bow.
It wrapped it up. All right. Yep. So I want to thank you, Jim, for talking with me about Zombie Diaries 2. We're gonna continue doing these found footages throughout the year. So don't rest on your laurels there.
It's been 14 years, so I don't think Zombie Diaries 3 is coming out. I don't know, guys. You know, I may be wrong, but anyway.
For everyone else listening, what we love to do at the end of the conversation is we like to rate the movie between 1 and 5. 1 being horrible, 5 being simply amazing. And what we'd like to do is take an object, a theme, or any something from either the movie to use as our item to rate the movie with. So, Jim, where on the spectrum between 1 and 5, and what item would you rate this film?
I'm trying to think of the item I want.
Really?
I'm going to give it a 4 burning bodies.
4 burning bodies.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else that might work, but I just a pile of burning bodies.
Well, I'm still going to give it a 4 too, but I'm going to give it 4 Billy Scarecrows.
I didn't think about the scarecrows. Yeah, good one. Good call.
Those type of little things, nuggets in the film.
Yeah, they were very disturbing.
Yeah, they're disturbing. That's so much cooler to watch. So
yes.
With that, everyone, I hope you've enjoyed our conversation about Zombie Diaries 2. I hope that you go out there and seek out the films that we talk about in this program, as well as some of the other films we've talked about in previous episodes, especially taking a look at our previous episodes, because we've touched base on a lot of great movies. And if you're a found footage fan or fanatic, we are going to continue to touch upon that subgenre of film for the rest of the year, because we have a book that will be focusing specifically on this genre coming out later in this year at some point. So we gotta keep it going. Please make sure to like, share, follow, subscribe, do that thing you do with your favorite podcast or your favorite podcast app, Spotify, YouTube. And also, please make sure to check out our companion podcast, Conversations in Hammer Studio Horrors, which is released every Friday, first and third Friday of the month. If you're a fan of classic horror, and especially classic Hammer Studios films, you're going to love that podcast. We love to talk about those type of things in that podcast. So from all of us here, have a pleasant day, and we hope to see you on our next podcast episode. Have a good day. Conversations in Horror is a Broken Lighthouse Pictures production, written, produced, and directed by Kevin L. Powers, executive producer Kelly A. Inoka. All contents and material from this episode of Conversations in Horror is copyright 2025 Broken Lighthouse Pictures.